We're kicking off today with Randy Orton, who due to Kevin Owens' injury is without an opponent for WrestleMania 41 next week. Given Orton's high standing in WWE, many fans have predicted that he will still compete at the event, and now an old rival of the Vipers is ready to face him again. On Twitter, Sheamus gave just a two-word message telling Orton, "I'm available," setting the stage for a match between the two years in the making. Though they've been in tag team matches in Royal Rumbles, the last time the pair faced off one-on-one was back in October 2015, with Orton winning at the Worcester Live event. Their most recent TV match would come a month earlier and also saw Orton get the win, but now Sheamus is ready to prove he beat his fellow former WWE champion. Sheamus isn't the only name putting themselves forward though, as Karrion Kross said that he's ready to take on Orton after fans on Twitter rallied behind the former NXT champion. NXT's Miles Bourne, who bears a striking resemblance to the Legend Killer, has also said he's free during WrestleMania 41 and is more than willing to face Orton at the show of shows. WrestleVotes has reported that Orton is still expected to compete at WrestleMania 41 despite his match being cancelled, but an opponent has yet to be determined at this time. But what do you think? Should Sheamus, who's also without a match as of now, be Orton's WrestleMania opponent? Or do you have someone else in mind? Let us know in the comments. No matter who Orton faces at WrestleMania, it won't be against Kevin Owens, and now we know much more about the health of the former Universal Champion. Speaking on Insight, Owens discussed living with the effects of injuries and said that for the most part, he's been lucky to avoid long-term pain from his career in wrestling. With that said, Owens did say that his back will hurt if he sits on a plane for too long, and he'll sometimes get numbness in his fingers and hands, but is able to shake it off. Now it's likely that this interview was conducted before Owens' current injury diagnosis, one that has left some fans fearing that Owens' days in the ring may be over. Kevin Owens has been wrestling for decades and is well aware of the risks of the ring, and while he considers himself lucky to have avoided major injuries, WrestleMania will go on without him. No matter who WWE finds to replace Kevin Owens in Las Vegas, WrestleMania 41 is mere days away, and those planning to watch the entire event should cancel any weekend plans they had. According to the current listing on Peacock, WrestleMania 41 is set to go 9 hours long on both Saturday, April 19th and Sunday, April 20th, making the show a mammoth event. Those 9 hours will include a 3-hour pre-show that'll kick off at 4 p.m. Eastern before the main show inside Allegiant Stadium begins at 7 p.m. Both days are expected to click in at around 4.5 hours, including post-show coverage, as WWE is set to deliver a massive event with a stacked card. One name hoping to win big at WrestleMania is Gunther, and despite being the World Heavyweight Champion, the Ring General will not be in the main event. That's also despite the fact that WWE has said in the past that the Royal Rumble winner, in this case Jey Uso, will main event WrestleMania, but neither man will have the last match. On the Ariel Helwani show, Gunther was asked about this snub, and despite what others may feel, he explained that he isn't disappointed to not be headlining this year. He explained, "There's 2 main event spots. Some people argue there's only one, which is night 2. At the end of the day, they're big achievements, but that's nothing I want to stress about." Gunther added that he is building a career to financially set up his family and is doing what he has always wanted to do and isn't fretting at the idea of never headlining a WrestleMania. Instead, the Austrian is proud and happy about his career and plans on delivering another exceptional match in Las Vegas, no matter where on the card he and Jey Uso land. But what do you think? Does Gunther have the right mentality, or should every WWE star dream of headlining WrestleMania? Share your thoughts down in the comments section. It's been less than a week since Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton set the wrestling world on fire with their SmackDown promo ahead of their WrestleMania 41 showdown. This segment between two of WWE's top women competing today has been described as a wreck by sources backstage, which is why Charlotte Flair felt the need to apologize this week. Taking to Twitter, Flair said she was blindsided by her personal trauma being brought up on live TV and in the heat of the moment said something that was not true at all. Flair then clarified by saying that she should have never called the Chicago fans smart and sarcastically apologized for this error in her judgment. Flair's tweet spawned a ton of responses, proving that the 2-time Royal Rumble winner is able to get fans talking both on screen and on social media. Following this segment, it was confirmed that both women had gone off script, with Charlotte doing so first, but what exactly was WWE planning for this segment? On the latest WrestleVotes radio, it was shared that the original script was supposed to be sharp but structured, and that Flair was meant to compare her legacy to Stratton's. The comparison was supposed to be complimentary to Flair but insulting to Stratton, and Charlotte would have also criticized the manner in which Tiffany won the women's title. Flair was supposed to say that Stratton only became champion because she had a ski lift in the form of the Money in the Bank contract, prompting Tiffany to fire back. Stratton was supposed to question why Flair has only wrestled 30 matches in 3 years and question how the Queen can have a kingdom when she's barely been around since 2024. The final line was supposed to go to Stratton, who'd claimed that at WrestleMania 41, Flair would be sliding right back down after losing to the women's champion. What fans got instead was far more cutting, and whether for good or bad reasons, has had fans talking about their upcoming match at Allegiant Stadium. The report adds that Stratton was warned that Flair might go off script and clearly had some material in her back pocket to use in case Charlotte decided to go against what was planned. The decision to go off script has split the locker room, with some feeling that Charlotte crossed the line first by mocking Tiffany's voice, while some feel Stratton's 0-3 response was way too far. Do you think the original promo segment was better, or do you prefer the cutting remarks that both made on last week's SmackDown instead? Share your views down below. The segment from last week went so far that WWE decided to edit the replays, including getting rid of Tiffany Stratton's line about Flair being 0-3 in marriages. While the segment is available in full on the USA Network's YouTube channel, WWE doesn't want fans hearing that line, but now Flair herself has made reference to the comment. On Twitter, a fan teased Flair that retirement is knocking, but Charlotte bit back, saying the knocking is from the fan's mom, who is trying to be number 4. That is an obvious nod to Flair's 3 previous marriages, the most recent being to Andrade, which came to an end in late 2024. While WWE isn't keen on fans hearing too much about this, Flair is ready to own her marital matters ahead of what may be the most personal WrestleMania match Flair has ever had. But what do you think of this? Should Flair have responded the way she did, or should she follow WWE's lead and avoid bringing this up when she can? Let us know down in the comments. Over to TNA Wrestling now, as Tessa Blanchard continues to be a source of heat in the company, and on the latest episode of Impact, it appears that Blanchard crossed a serious line. During the April 10th episode, TNA Knockouts World Champion Masha Slamovich discussed her Rebellion challenger and revealed that wrestling legend Johnny Rodz has been attacked. Slamovich claimed that Blanchard was the one to attack the 83-year-old WWE Hall of Famer in a clear message to Slamovich, one of the many wrestlers trained by Rodz. Earlier in the show, Blanchard had hinted that she planned to visit Rodz and said that if Rodz really did build the champ, I'm going to prove just how easy it is to break her. Off-air, Slamovich warned Blanchard, telling her, "You've got something worse than a title match, you've got a war," ahead of TNA's upcoming event on April 27th in Los Angeles. It was on last week's episode of TNA Impact that it was revealed that Hendry is dealing with a rotator cuff injury, putting his status at Rebellion into question. On this week's episode, Hendry gave an update on his condition, revealing that the medical professionals have advised him against wrestling, though he has decided to still defend his title. The TNA World Champion was then interrupted by Frankie Kazarian, and it was confirmed that Hendry will defend against Kazarian and NXT's Ethan Paige at Rebellion. Before then, though, Hendry will be in action at TNA's Unbreakable event on April 17th, where he'll team with Masha Slamovich to face Kazarian and Tessa Blanchard. That show could determine just how unbreakable Hendry is, and with the odds not on his side at Rebellion and his injury, the Scottish Star's days with the gold may indeed be numbered. More from WrestleMania now, as 12 matches have been publicly confirmed for the Showcase of the Immortal, but fans may still get some matches announced for the show. That's according to Joey Votes, who told WrestleBinge that a tag team championship match for the Street Profits may come at WrestleMania 41. On last week's SmackDown, the Motor City Machine Guns became the #1 contenders, setting up a match with the men who'd cost them in their title match at the Royal Rumble PLE. With that said, Joey Votes explained that the status of the match is up in the air, and while it may be at WrestleMania, it could also headline the Go Home SmackDown before the 2-night event. That's not the only match fans can expect to potentially take place at WrestleMania, as on Twitter, WrestleVotes shared that 14 matches are planned for WrestleMania 41. This report added that a discussed World Tag Team title match involving the New Day and the War Raiders could be added to the show, but that hasn't happened at this time. While the report also brought up Drew McIntyre's eye injury and the potential of his match not happening, WWE has since confirmed that McIntyre vs. Damian Priest will go ahead. WrestleMania is already shaping up to be a massive event, and it may be getting even bigger soon enough as we approach the final week before the 2-night mega show in Las Vegas. Over to AEW now, as this week's Dynamite saw Hook and Samoa Joe get the win against the Death Riders in the main event, with Hook tapping out Wheeler Yuta. After the match, though, fans noticed that something was off as the ring had a strange discoloration, and now we know that Hook actually vomited in the ring. The puking in question came after Claudio Castagnoli hit Hook with a neutralizer onto a steel chair after the match, and moments later, Hook could be seen throwing up. AEW avoided bringing attention to this, but fans on social media quickly noticed what had happened, though it's unclear what exactly caused Hook to throw up. Some believe it may be down to dehydration or exhaustion, and we can't count out the possibility that Hook ate something that disagreed with him before the match. Whatever the case, we certainly hope Hook is okay after his in-ring vomiting, and hopefully this incident was a one-off for the former FTW champion in the squared circle. This week's Dynamite also saw Chris Jericho berate the learning tree and claimed he'd be going away until Big Bill and Brian Keith no longer disappoint him. Jericho didn't give an expected time of when he'll be back, but we now know the real reason why the first ever WWE Undisputed and AEW World Champion won't be around. Speaking on his post-Dynamite recap show, Sean Ross Sapp explained that Jericho will be taking a short break to DeFazzi's upcoming tour, which will last from April 17th to May 12th. With that said, Sapp added that this tour will only feature one event on a Wednesday, which he said is bad news for fans who no longer want to see Chris in the ring. That one Wednesday date will come on April 30th, meaning fans won't see him on that week's Dynamite, but by mid-May, the Canadian veteran could be back on AEW programming. Sapp also shot down speculation about Jericho moving from AEW to Ring of Honor, as he said that Chris is not planned for any ROH stuff and that AEW wants him to move on from that. What would you like to see from Jericho when he returns, or are you tired of seeing the former world champion completely? Let us know in the comments. From the moment Saraya announced that she had left AEW, speculation grew about a potential return to WWE, a return that Saraya has said she is open to. Given that Saraya last wrestled in a WWE ring in 2017, a lot has changed in the women's division since then, and the British wrestler already has some potential opponents in mind. Speaking on muscle memory with Muscle Man Malcolm, Saraya discussed her future in the ring and began by making clear that her leaving AEW does not mean she's finished wrestling. Saraya then named Rhea Ripley as a potential future opponent for her and also wants to face Liv Morgan, saying that she's done some wonderful things and continues to get better and better. Of course, either match hinges on Saraya returning to WWE, and with Triple H now running things, a return to WWE seems genuinely possible for the former Divas champion. When Vince McMahon stepped down in 2022, Triple H reportedly made an effort to bring Saraya back, but at that point, the British star had decided to pursue a future in AEW. With that chapter of her career over, Saraya is ready to do much more in the ring, and will that future come as Paige once more against some of WWE's top female superstars? Time will tell. Would you like to see Saraya face Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, or are you hoping her next match in the ring is against somebody else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments. Right now, CM Punk is preparing to headline WrestleMania for the first time in his career, but the best in the world is also keeping an eye on life outside the ring. In an interview with the UK's Metro newspaper, Punk revealed that the WWE's partnership with Netflix is interesting and they want to specifically find projects for him in non-wrestling roles. Punk said the WWE is also looking for projects for other superstars to cross over into, and said he'd love to do something with John Cena in the world of professional acting. Cena has certainly proven to be a success in acting, and Punk has some acting experience of his own, including a role in Heels as well as in Girl on the Third Floor. Punk also recently signed with the Paradigm Talent Agency, which also represents Liv Morgan, Drew McIntyre, Alexa Bliss, and Tiffany Stratton, to seek out opportunities in acting. Punk has a long history with John Cena, and while they could do battle in the ring in this final year of Cena's career, don't count out the pair sharing the screen in the world of acting as well. More from TNA Wrestling now, as next week's Unbreakable event will certainly be a gory event thanks to a match that was confirmed during this week's episode of Impact. During the show, AJ Francis advanced in the tournament to crown the first TNA International Champion with a win over Sami Callihan and Mance Warner in triple threat action. Callihan and Warner had been more focused on destroying each other than winning the match, and later in the night, Callihan demanded a match with Warner from Santino Marella. This won't be just any match though, as the pair will do battle in a barbed wire massacre, and without hesitation, Marella made the match official. With Callihan and Warner ready to tear each other apart, fans can expect plenty of blood next week as the pair seek to prove which of them is truly unbreakable. In WWE, Tyler Breeze and Fandango proved to be a hit as a tag team, and now the pair are getting back in the ring together. It's been confirmed that Breezango will be reuniting on May 10th at Northeast Wrestling's WrestleFest, set to take place in White Plains, New York. The pair will do a pre-show meet and greet as well as compete in the ring, and whoever they face will certainly get to face some fashionable foes in the form of the former NXT Tag Team Champions. Right now, the Death Riders angle is the biggest thing in AEW, though fans have hardly been loving Jon Moxley and his crew's actions so far. Many feel the group has been rather directionless since dealing with Bryan Danielson, and the group interferes for each other too much, but Jim Ross has shared that he is behind the group. On his Grilling JR podcast, Ross said that he thinks the Death Riders is a good gimmick and he likes the angle, and said, "We'll see how it pans out at the end of the day." Are you liking the Death Riders, or are you ready to see something new as the most prominent storyline in AEW? Let us know down in the comments. And we're ending today with some more from AEW, as the excitement from this week's Dynasty Fallout show didn't stop when the show went off the air. After his victory in the main event, Samoa Joe stuck around in the ring in Baltimore but was confronted by Max Caster, who threw out an open challenge. Caster wanted to see if Joe can hang with the self-proclaimed best wrestler alive, and Joe didn't back down, hitting the acclaimed alum with 2 back-to-back muscle busters. The fans were ecstatic to see Joe destroy Caster, who once again was left reeling as a result of an open challenge to a massive name on the AEW roster. During Dynamite, Joe made clear that the Ops are coming for the Death Riders Trios titles, and whatever comes next, Max Caster will think twice if he ever considers confronting Joe again.